We'd submit them, and I would sit, I don't know, 20 offers a week for the first 2 years. Right? That was it. That was my life, 6 days a week. That's all I did. That was it. Now, ask me if I'm a millionaire now. No, because I made really bad decisions. When you get money, it happens sometimes. I don't have anybody telling me what to do, right? Did I buy 5 rental properties? You're freaking right, I did. Did I sell them and make money to buy a nice little spot in North Glendora? You're dang right I did, right? So it helped. But all of that to say, I was listening to that mindset video, right? I've got, oh yeah, PS, I might have done some entrepreneurship studying at Purdue. USC was holding something called Boots to Business, and they spent, I don't know, 3 or 4 months with us. And so we get alumni status at USC and Purdue. And so I study a little bit, right? I'm kind of a smart dude. College was not my route. I can't sit still long enough. It's not my gig. So, look, I say it's not my gig, and I'm just ripping off a couple of universities, huh? So maybe it is my gig. Just don't tell anybody. So what does it mean now? Well, now I'm selling houses. My license is up for renewal. What do? I don't know, because there's nobody in the real estate industry saying, hey, this is a career path. The career path looks like this. Become a top producer, buy a franchise, right? And we'll figure out how to teach you how to run a team then. It's a bad business model. I know, because I got to deal with the agents who run, the brokers who run those franchises. It's bad. It's not good. Now, I get a broker's license. Well, why do I get a broker's license? I don't know. It just seemed like the thing to do. If I got to study for 45 hours to renew my license, and the only thing that's different is there's a little bit more knowledge in there, I'll just study that, become a broker. Now, I still worked for Coldwell Banker at the time, but it just felt like the thing to do. There was an opportunity for us to start venturing our company into government contracting. And so that's what took me to Purdue. So I studied a whole bunch of business development, business relations, financials. How do I turn a real estate guy into a brokerage and start actually buying rental properties that take homeless veterans off the street? So what I learned was there's not a whole lot of real estate going on there, but there's a whole lot of contracting going on there and behind the scenes stuff. It's not my gig, right? So after 6 months, I gave the contract back and said, look, I'm just going to go sell a bunch of houses. Somewhere in there, I thought it was a really good idea to take over Keller Williams as their CEO. So there was an office out in Upland. My wife and I did it together. We negotiated for ownership of the company. When we took it over, it was failing. There was like 18 to 20 agents in there. Our best year, we did 180 million in volume. It had 82 agents, hired 3 of the top 10 agents around. Yippee skippy. Problem was it was taxing my marriage. There was no downtime. There was no nothing. So I made another choice. Now in there, we made a little bit of money, had some stuff, did a bad investment, right? I invested outside of my lane. I should have bought a house. I invested in something else, got a little greedy, and it was gone, right? So that was 2016. So think about 8 to 12. That's the recession. You start building out of 12 to 16. You got your legs underneath you again. You invest outside of your lane. Boom, there it goes, right? So my wife said, well, now we got great job. It's not at all what she said, but you can imagine, right? So great job. Now what do we do? I said, we'll just go do it again. So we left Keller Williams. Ottosen and Company is our property management company. It's been around for, I don't know how, we moved out here in 2008. So do the math for me. So that's how long the property management company's been around. She said, hey, I think let's separate legally. The laws are starting to change in the rental department. If something goes haywire and we get sued over here, we still have a sales brokerage over here. If you know, you're the big bad guy flipping out in the hood and somebody sues you, that can shut down and we still got income over here from the management. Brilliant, right? So we did it. So we launched another company and we did that. So let me think. So 2019, talk about having some gumption, burning the ships, right, Brando? Right, John? Burning the ships. 2019, I told you I just lost our money. We had 60 days in the bank, 60. That was it. Daughter getting ready to graduate in a year to go off to college, and a kid 4 years behind her ready to go, right? Zero income. Both of us walked away. Not all bad. I mean, the property management company was trickling it in, but like nobody's getting rich doing that, right? So she said, I got Ottosen and Company, you go do the next thing. So January 1st, 2020, we launched Capital and Influence. Come on, everybody. What happened 3 months later?
COVID.
I don't feel good, right? Oh, man. But guess what? I've been through 2008. And the lessons learned from 2008 to 2012, those 4 years, dude, everybody panicked. Now, look, it's easy to stay at home and get free money. It is. You don't have to work. You get fat, nobody cares because everybody's fat. You can watch all the shows you want. We live in California, so you can get as high as you want, get as fat as you want, and get free money, and nobody cares. It's real. And I looked at my wife and I said, hey, it's 2008. Let's go get it. So she doubled the size of the property management company, and I sold like 10 million in volume in our first year in the middle of a pandemic. Right? Not bad. See what I mean? Why? You burn the ships. Burning the ships is just some cocky guy's way of saying we commit, right? Dude's got commitment issues. But when we commit, stand by, right? And so we just crushed. That was 2020. We did a 22% increase in 2021, and we're already outpacing 2021 for this year. So are you talking to a $100 million net worth CEO guy? No. Are you talking to a risk taker? Yes. Are you talking to a guy who takes absolute accountability for everything that he does? Yes, even when he doesn't like it, right? It's interesting. I was listening to the video, Lawrence, and I was double checking my math on the intro on the way in, and see if I got my notes written down. Yeah. So the mindset stuff, right? So I want you to take this, the mindset stuff, because the very first thing Lawrence asked on the question is, how can young professionals take advantage of their time to leverage their abilities, opportunities, and education? Now, Lawrence, correct me where I'm wrong, but that was meaning they're young, right? That would be you guys, opposite of me. You guys are young. And so you're saying, hey, you might have acted like an a-hole for the first 20 years of your life. And now that you're in your mid 40s, we don't want to be those people. So most of the time, you old timers won't give us a shot, but how do we take advantage of that time and leverage it? Because it's the opportune time right now. Did I understand that correctly?
Yeah. You hitting
okay.
The point. That's right.
You've got to fix your brain. It all starts with your brain, because I'm gonna get buck wild on you, and I'm gonna start going really fast because I get really excited. So pump the brakes, right? Put up the stop sign, throw your hand up in the air, do what you got to do. This hype stuff on YouTube, right? There's some nonsense out there. You guys are listening to the good stuff. It's all here. All of it's mindset, right? We had a business coach that we brought into Keller Williams. He used to call it the stinking thinking, right? These numbers are crazy. I just double checked them. So double check my double check if you need to. The National Health Organization argues, right? There's so many different people studying mindset right now. It's somewhere between 12 and 80,000 thoughts a day. Now that's a spread. So you'll hear most things on average are 50 to 60. So think about this, but you just get up and go to bed and you're going to have 50 to 60,000 thoughts a day. It's crazy. Now, 80% of those are negative. Yeah, let that sink in for a second. I can't do the math, but one of you got to be able to do it. I don't know what 80% of 50,000 is, but it's got to be like 30 or 35,000 thoughts. Negative every day. Forget all the other stuff. Forget the guy who's going to sound like your dad telling you to get off Facebook and Instagram, right? Forget it. I'm the dad whose kids didn't have social media until they were 18. Then we sat down and we had an FU conversation, because now you're 18. You can tell me FU, I'm doing it anyways, right? But I understood it. It's good, Andrew. You can laugh, man. If we were in public, you'd be laughing out loud right now. You can't even hold it in. It's good. Don't worry about it. Look, you can be professional when it's time to execute, and you can be honest when we're trying to expand the brain, right? So now, out of those 80%, right? Let's call that, Juliana, were you texting or were you checking my math? 30, 35,000 thoughts? That's pretty good, huh?
I think it's 40. I got you.
Oh, if we're going to be honest, it'll be
40. Yeah.
40. So 40,000 negative thoughts a day. You ready for the worst part? 90% of those repeat themselves. How many times a day do I tell myself I'm too fat? Ask me how much I just enjoyed my ice cream I had right before I got on the call with you guys. That's true. I did, right out of the container too. I didn't even put it in the bowl. It's a waste of a dish, right? So if I could get it in without even wasting the dish on the spoon, I would, but that's gross. So you have to fix your brain. What you're doing first thing in the morning matters. What you do right before you go to bed matters. One of the easiest, cheesiest books. Now, I've since meshed a couple into my own. If you're going to do something, right, or you want to start improving your mindset, the Hal Elrod, The Miracle Morning. It's simple. It's so simple. He says you can do it in 7 minutes or an hour. And so, of course, I layer in my own exercise time and I layer in my own meditation time, and I've got my own calendar worked out, but I pull in elements of that. And then there is something to gratitude. A guy I studied, Larry Brodden, he's an entrepreneur, Army veteran, he's been on MSNBC a bunch. buddy of mine down in Orange County, masterminded with him for a while. He was always about, if you want to have a great business, you must become a great person. Right? Because that immediately ties into, look at me just name dropping right now, right? So say with me, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Right? Who knows who said that? I know somebody on here's got it.
Yeah, I think that's right. Oh, so yeah, I heard that.
Who is it?
Let me see.
Who is it? Oh, beat me to Google. Come on. Who says it? Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn says you're the average of the 5 people you hang around. Right? The cool way to say that is your vibe is your tribe. Right? And if you want to get deep, you say, yeah, but your tribe, they're your vibe, right? Because if you hang out with negative people, you're going to be negative, right? Think about that. And we have a hard time separating and elevating because these people say, oh, you don't like me anymore. Oh, you think you're better than me. Oh, wah, 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 right? Okay, cool. Then shut your own life down. Eagles fly alone. Right? That's a natural fact. Nothing we can do with that. Eagles soar higher and above everybody, and they generally do it alone. Okay. Now, then you're going to hear the other side of this. Ready? If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Build a team. Right? I'm talking about yourself right now. You've got to get up every day, and it's not Jocko Willett, Navy SEAL. Right? It's not get hard or die. Woo! I can get that. You want to take a hill? We'll get up the friggin' hill, right? Like we win. But you have to be wired that way or it's exhausting, right? If it's literally 5 minutes a minute, I have an app on my phone. I'm a faith-based dude, right? So my app, it says pause. When I push pause, it's literally 1 minute, 3 minutes, or 5 minutes. And it immediately brings my breathing in, right? Gets me recentered. I do it 3-4 times a day. Right? I do it once to start my morning routine. I do it once to finish my morning routine. And then throughout the day, I'll do it 1 or 2 more times when I start getting, right? Now, there's some Jesus in there. So if you're not a faith-based person, probably don't download pause, right? Because, the dude's talking about Jesus. So download something that's going to put you in a position to center yourself and remember what you're doing. I can't underscore it enough. I can talk deals all day long. Why I was in Texas the last 2 days, I was looking at 22 units, the slide deck's together, the calculator's ready to ride. Like we can get into the deals, but none of it matters. Think about what I told you in about an 8-year span. I lost all of my money twice because my brain wasn't right. I was chasing something that wasn't real. Right? Almost cost me my second marriage. So you have to choose. Who do you want to become? Right? And it's not cars and money. It's not. I drive a 2015 pickup truck, Chevy Silverado, but it's free and clear. I get around, I do whatever I want. It's got a little V6 engine in it. It doesn't even cost a lot of gas, right? Where do you spend your money? If you look at your checkbook, what are you going to find? You're going to find where your priorities are. What do you feed in your brain? Okay. It's big. Now, how can you guys take advantage of your time? If you can fix yourself now, not that you're all jacked up, but if you can get yourself in a routine every day, find it for you. Some of you like to exercise. Some of you like to walk. Some of you like to read books. Some of you like to play video games. Some of you, doesn't matter. If you get a habit every single morning now at this age, right now, it's not too late. And you say, every morning I'm getting up at 9 o'clock, but I'm a night owl. So I'm up till 3 every morning. Okay. Then do the same thing every morning at 9 o'clock. Get up, brush your teeth, make your bed, go into the word, go meditate, go turn on whatever music calms your soul, but build yourself a routine because your body will actually get used to it, right? It's the way I felt weird because I'm not in my routine. Build that now. When you meet your partner, right? That routine should not change. I am the person that you love because I execute and I take care of myself this way, mentally, physically, spiritually. Like I'm in alignment. I've got my routines down so much. Like the first half of my food intake every day is identical, right? I wear black and white shirts, all of them. If you open up my closet, it was my goal all of 2021 to replace my wardrobe. Jeans and black and white shirts. I threw in some OD green ones, like olive drab green, because the jarhead thing, I can't let it go, right? But guess what? That's one less decision I got to make every day. It's one less thing I got to worry about. Do you think I enjoy eating oatmeal with fruit every morning? No, but my body likes it. And so I eat it every day, every morning, same thing. But I eat it at 7 o'clock in the morning because I eat some extra protein, right? Like my body is just in the rhythm. Even when I'm traveling and they got the free continental breakfast, I'm eating oatmeal. Okay? Because I like to jack up my desserts at night. That's why I eat healthy in the morning. So this is a real estate conversation. How can you young professionals take advantage right now, save money? Don't ever forget, you're going to see, you might have heard it a bunch of times, the hockey stick approach. You're going to hear time on task over time, right? You're going to hear slowly and then suddenly. When you start to hear these things going in your life, realize what they're talking about. It's marathon training. They run a mile, then they run 3, then they run 5, then they run 13, and then they run 13 a bunch, and then they start building up. It's slowly. That's why we got to meet in person, because I'm like a visual guy, right? It's slowly, boom, and then you go, right? It is compounding interest. I saved $1 this week. I saved $1 every week for a year. Great job. Next year, save $5 a week every week. And by the time you're my age, watch the compounding interest effect grow. I'm sure this is not the first time you guys have heard this. Right? Okay. Now, but that's with everything. You want to lose weight? Don't try to lose 50 pounds in 30 days. Adjust your food intake. 70% of all gains are made in the kitchen, right? And then eat consistently well. One of the greatest quotes I heard somebody say was Gary Keller, and he said, "It is the boredom of success." That doesn't sit well with me, right? I need stuff right now, right? I want to solve a problem. I want to get it. I want to visualize. I want to execute it. Boom, I solved it. You go execute it. Got to go. Why? Well, I'm going to go jump in the crap with the next one and solve that one too. And we go, right? The boredom of success, literally getting in and making 10 phone calls every single day. Do you know how hard that is? Sounds easy, but it requires discipline. That's why a lot of these motivational things always show athletes. Do you think that they like to do 300 push-ups a day or swim 45 minutes every single morning? No, at some point, no, you're done. The boredom of success is the time on task over time. So it feels flat, but it's really this. And then suddenly it just breaks off. That's how people lose money too, though, right? Credit card debt. How'd you get broke? Suddenly and then quickly, right? I was having a great time. Oh, it's only 500, 1,000, 2,000, it's 3,000. Oh, I shifted it over to interest free, but I racked it back up to another 6. How am I $12,000 in debt? What happened? Right? Slowly and then suddenly. So what can you do with your time now? Do what Lawrence did. Ask everybody. See, when you start to get this right, you start to get this right, you start to get clarity on where you want to go, you're going to start talking about it. Right? Well, how many times now have I talked to you about these 22 units that I'm trying to buy in Texas? Only twice, but we got time together. You're going to hear about them again. Why? Because I'm going to start speaking that. Enough people are going to hear it. Enough people. I sent the slide deck out to 2 people last night, 2 typos in it. I forgot to put the operator slide in there. Guess what? Don't care. First of all, I'm not getting a grade, right? And second of all, I still talk to them both today anyways. They care about the math. Yeah, it's got to look good. I'll pop it up and I'll show you in a little bit, but like it's still got to be dialed. You know what I mean? So tell everybody what you're trying to do. Ask for everything. Lawrence shows up at some crazy old networking event with a bunch of old people. I was going to say I was one of the youngest, but that's probably not true either, right? I'm at least in the bottom 5 or 10 of the youngest ones in there. And he's like, hey, this is who we are. This is what we do. I don't even know this guy, Chase, but I got this group. I want to do this. I want to do this. All right, man, I'm in. You got energy. You got vision. I'm down. Let's go get it, right? Tell everybody. Get your morning routine in. Get your heart and your head in alignment. Start asking, who do I want to become? Right? What kind of man do I need to become that is the Lord of the land for 22 units? Am I really a good landlord? Like, do I really care about people? Do I really want to make sure their maintenance is taken care of, or pay daddy? Right? Who do I have to become to be a good Lord of the land? All right. He says, as a business owner, what does it take to get where you are? I think we talked about that. What kind of mindset? I think we could beat the heck out of that one. Important networking, real estate. Look, I'm going to swing off on real estate. Important networking. It's important. I'm not a great networker, by the way. Okay. I'm not. One-on-one, you got me. Biggest stage I ever had was 3,500 people in the crowd, right? Phenomenal. You ever see yourself on a Jumbotron? Like, you look around, you're like, oh, it's horrible for the ego. It's like, right? It's bad. But You get me in a room with 12 to 15 people, I'm awkward and uncomfortable. I don't like it. I don't like the cheap. It feels bad. Hey, how you doing? Got my car. This is what I do. Here's my 30-second pitch. It's not my gig. I'm absolutely terrible at it. It's a skill set. I just refuse to learn it. Right? So I know who I am as a business owner, right? Who are you? Who do you want to be? Right? It doesn't mean you got to be the guy who can get up on stage. Doesn't mean you got to be the guy who can get up on video, right? There is my favorite success story, and success is defined differently, was an engineer, and he quit his job as a civil engineer because he wanted to get into real estate. So he quit. Imagine going to engineering school, getting the job, everybody loves you, woo, and you're like, yeah, I quit to go into real estate. He is not a guy. But what he did is he said, where's the model? He built the model. He hired an agent, hired an admin staff, figured out how to create leads, and fed the business leads. That's all he did. And he makes just over $1 million in his first 3 years. An engineer who walks out, right? He didn't sell a house. He didn't sell one house. He's not even licensed. Oh, it's creative. So figure out who you want to be, okay? And that helps by spending a lot of time here. Networking, do it, don't do it, follow up, networking opportunities. Okay. There are networking events you should go to feel how you feel in those situations. You can always find local chamber of commerce events. You can always find a nonprofit inviting you to something because they want your money, right? You can always find something to go mingle with people and see how you are, right? What is the old saying? People don't care what you're trying to sell them until they know who you are. People don't care what you know until they know what's in your heart. Something like that, right? They give us not about what's here, not what doesn't matter. Give them a 30-second pitch. Give them a 60-second elevator pitch. They sound like it as soon as you say it. I got 5 of them. I'm good, right? I got 45 seconds. I can read. Right? People don't like it. People like it when you go, how you doing today? And they go, fine. Nah, how you really doing today? No, I'm fine. You just saying that? No, actually I'm da. Now suddenly you care. Suddenly you give a damn, right? Network that way. Find someone to connect. When I go into people's houses for listing appointments, right? I'll look around. I got the spiel. I got the stuff, right? So does the next 5 guys coming in behind me. But if I can identify with something, oh, you were a firefighter? My grandfather retired from fighter. Holy, who is that in the photograph? Oh, that's my nephew. Yeah, he just graduated from the Navy. Oh, wow, get out of here. My cousin's boyfriend in high school was a Navy SEAL, right? You just find reasons to talk. It's not networking, right? Because I'm one-on-one, much better one-on-one. Go get in the mix with people, okay? Just go find reasons to get out there. Now, don't always make it about the dollar or the sale, right? If you got an idea and you want to see how good that idea carries and you want to see how good you are at defending it, just go to a random ass room and start talking to people. Just go into something and just make it a topic of conversation. Because what you have to do is you have to present yourself in a manner in which people are like, huh, oh yeah, hey, how you doing? Oh yeah, I want to talk to you, right? I can, I just don't like it. Shoulders are back, right? Chest is out, head is up, walk a little confidently. Quite frankly, I walk like I own the damn room. Like I own it. It's my room. I'll talk to anybody. I'll do anything because typically speaking, I know my limits, right? And I know them. I know them socially. I know them professionally. I know them personally. And most of my limits are way farther than most people are ever willing to go in their life. So typically I win, right? And that's a good thing. But it took me years to get there. It took me years to say I'm not a good networker. I don't like it. I'll go, but I don't want to, right? And when you go, sometimes what's the purpose of you going? Is it just to test? Think about comedians going to clubs, testing a joke or two, how to play, right? Okay, I went to this chamber. I had this conversation. That didn't play very well. Okay, let me go to another chamber. You're never gonna see these people again. It's like when you were dating in high school, unless you fell in love. You're not gonna marry this person, right? It's okay. So It'll be okay. You're not going to see these people again. Go move into that direction. It's the most critical thing that he put on here, though, is F you. He did. Follow up, follow up, follow up. Okay. Sales. This is success builders, right? We want to be successful even in life and sales. You have to follow up. It's annoying. It's time consuming. It pisses you off that people don't have the common courtesy to call you back, right? Most sales, regardless. So the business coach I brought in to Keller Williams, he was not a realtor and he was not a real estate coach. The guy's a former vice president for Crescent Jewelers, right? Hey man, you don't get Southern California with like 17 stores without being good at something. You know what I mean? I didn't want another real estate coach teaching them circle prospecting or cold calling. I wanted these agents to understand business. That was this guy. Sorry, I had like 5 thoughts about him. Lawrence, I told you what happened. Sometimes I just squirrel out. Why I was bringing the business guy into Keller Williams, I was going to tell you something when I come back to it. Oh, follow up. Hello, come on now, effing you. It is he said in the sales industry, 90% of all sales are done between the 13th and 17th follow-up. So they like that 14 to 15 follow-up number. So if you're going to automate, right? Like let's say you got a CRM you're working in, you're already trying to sell some stuff, your follow-up has got to be a minimum of 14 touches. Now, that can be phone calls, text messages, emails, mailers, blah, 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 blah. It doesn't matter, right? But you got to touch somebody 14 times to equal 1. Then you can start the relationship, right? We tracking? Okay. It's even got to be slower if they're big ticket items, okay? You know, if you're trying to get someone to sell them a house, you hit them 14 times in the first 7 days, they're going to tell you to get bent, right? So you got to stretch that. I know because I tried it. It doesn't work. Okay, you want to do like 3 in the first 3 days, give them a day off, hit them again slowly. Like we do 14 over the first 21 days. 14 and 7 doesn't work. Always follow up and find out what works good for you. Email open rates are now down under 30%. Text message open rates are still over 93%. Phone call is still the best way. Like voice, look, the best place to close a deal, face-to-face. It's the number 1, always will be. The number 2 way right now, though, honestly, was phone calls, text messages. You want to get a response from somebody? Send them a text. Right now, I was gonna go to sales technique. We won't do that. Stay focused on the follow-up. Personally, what do you need follow-up on? College scholarships, internships, jobs, right? Parents paying your damn tuition. My poor kid almost got kicked out of school because I was like, oh, I'm chasing the market, son. Bear with me. I was gonna pull money out of the 529 plan and it dipped. And I was like, tell the school I'll show up next week. They're like, hey, Dad, they're gonna drop me. I'm like, yeah, but you still got a week. Don't worry about it. Follow up. All of you guys right now just said, thank God you're not my dad. Okay, before we squirrel out into real estate, what questions do you guys have? Talk to me. What did I say that made you go, this guy's nuts and I want to end this call quickly? And what did you say? Yeah, hurry up and get into real estate.
Well, I'll start with the questions right here. Okay, so when I met you for the first time, I heard a lot of people were talking about young professional and a true professional. You said that Chase is a true professional. So can you define what a true professional is?
Yeah, so I'm gonna check you on your notes because I don't think I would have called him a true professional, but I might have. Look, he plays the part, right? When you get old and you got a little bit of success behind you, you can show up in flip flops and shorts. Right? I do it sometimes. But when you're young, the dude's always got a pair of slacks on. Always got, I don't know why he likes the vest, but he's got a vest, right? He comes to execute. So in this particular networking group team that we're in, we have to do a 1-minute commercial every week. Now I change it. I got 4 commercials that I give or 5. And Chase will come in and sub. So sometimes he'll stand up for Ryan Ottosen. Sometimes he stands up for the females in the room and he knows their commercials. And he delivers them like he wrote them, right? So honestly, sometimes he gives better networking pitches than the people themselves. He's a professional. He knows his job. He knows he's comfortable speaking. He knows that he presents well. He's articulate. He's charismatic. He's got a good smile on him, right? And so he can show up, and because he's not afraid to be a little cheesy, be a little quirky, and he just goes right after people, he crushes it. crushes it, right? Even when I get on the phone with them, yes, Mr. Ottosen, it's a great day to sell real estate. I'm like, Chase, knock it off. No, sir, right? He knows when he's in that lane, he's executing in that lane. Now, when he shows up at the Christmas party and I get Chase, the buddy drinking on the boss's dime, we have different conversations. But when he's hitting it, he's hitting it. You know what I mean? And that's because he's confident in who he is.
That's right.
I am good in the awkward silence, believe it or not. So who else has got questions on here?
I have 2 questions. Hello, do you hear me?
Yeah, just
Sorry.
fine. Yeah,
Okay.
you're good.
So
Is it Anne?
yes.
Okay.
Okay. So I have 2 passionate about hospitality and real estate. Do you recommend like I should focus in one, or like can I do both?
It's a great question. Let me make sure I understood it. Was that 2 questions? What should I do, or
Oh, no,
one or the other? Both? Okay. What's the second
that's
one?
the first question. The second one is like I do have a mindset, like I overthink a lot. Like I would think like, oh, what should I be in 5 years? And I would plan out like things, but at the same it is a good thing, but it's also a bad thing. A good thing is like it pushed me to reach my goal, but the bad thing is like, I don't know, it's just like always in my head, like, oh, what should I do? What is my next plan? So like, do you have any tips for that, or is it like a bad thing for you, or like, yeah, if that makes sense.
No, you 100%. 2 great questions. Don't feel bad for asking them, right? Those are that. If we can't do this here, where are you going to do it, right? So I'm going to start with question 2 before I go to question 1. The overthinker thing, that's me. Not on everything though. If I go to buy a TV, it'll take me 3 months because I'll research it. I'll get the right one. Then I'll spend another 2 months finding the cheapest place to get it. And then I'll go buy the TV, right? Of course, it's already out of technology now. But there's other things where I just blindly jump in. Like people are like, what'd you do that for? Because I'm very quick at assessing risk, right? And like I said, since my limits are pretty high or low, I'm comfortable with a lot of risk. But I overthink or underthink. That's it. There's not a lot in the middle with me. I'm either in or I'm out. And if I'm in, you get all of it, right? So it's not a bad thing. Let me tell you why it's not a bad thing. It can be. I'm in a 3-year marketplace discipleship program. So you're a marketplace leader. How do you now move the kingdom with what you do in the marketplace, right? So the guy's got a bunch of people in the room and he says, hey, how many of you set goals every year? This is why I'm bringing this up. I heard you talking about crushing your goals, Ann, right? So I sit up and he's like, how many of you guys do that with your spouse? Right? So I got my hand up, I set goals every quarter, right? I did my quarterly update. Then he says, how many of you guys do it with your spouse? Oh, I should put 2 hands up because we do it every year. Like goals, 5-year goals, someday goal, like head of the class, mother effort, right? And then he says, I'm so sorry for you. He says, do you know what goals are? It's like the pathway to success. And he says, they're what's left of your dreams when all the joy, fun, and love gets sucked out of them. Oh, I felt like a terrible husband and a horrible human. And then I asked myself, when was the last time I dreamed? Right? I allowed, in the Marine Corps, we call it mission accomplishment before troop welfare, which means if they say take the hill, you don't drink water, you don't go to the bathroom, you don't eat, you literally bite, scratch, claw, kill till you take the top of that hill. Then you can have a cup of water. That's it. So at all costs, the mission gets accomplished. At all costs, and your goals get hit, right? And you become a little cold, a little detached, a little assertive, a bunch aggressive, and you're like, what happened? Like, okay, confession time, right? I raised my daughter that way, and I feel bad for it. I've apologized to her like 5 times now. She graduated college in 3 years. She's got a job making more money than she's got age on the planet, right? And she's planning her wedding like it's a checklist and not the most beautiful day in her life. You know how many times I've had to apologize for that? And she's in escrow in Texas to buy her first house. And she's like, I'm checking the boxes. I'm crushing the goals. And I'm like, are you having fun in any of it? So is it a good thing? And yes, right? Let's go. Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility, right? So now how do you hit the goals? And you said, what's next, or what should the next goal be, or when I get there, right? Well, the next goal should be happy. Set the next goal to be happiness. What do you have to be the most joyful person you know? Right? Because happiness, you can still fake happiness, but joyful. Like people just know that when Anne comes over, it's just going to be a good day, right? Because she's just that person, right? So now you can then channel that focus on goal setting for when it's time to execute, right? Now, don't go make a checklist on the 10 steps to do daily to be more joyful because you're just going to have a checklist. Like, that's what I'm talking about. When you get this and this in alignment and you start moving into the most joyful person you can be, right? How happy are you going to be in a hospitality? I got 75 reservations to make. You're only 74. Next, right? Like, where's the joy in that? Okay. Real estate or hospitality? I'm going to hit there, but I'm going to go back because it might go talking about into the joy and the dreaming again, right? Set a goal, set the dreams. Why one? Why the other? And it's typically because you have a vision in your head and you feel like you got to jump into one of the two boxes. So with all of the professionalism I can muster up right now, fuck those boxes, okay? Don't get out of the box, light it on fire, burn it, crumple it up, kick it to the street. There are no boxes, right? For crying out loud, I don't care what anybody says. We live in the only country where you can literally do whatever you want. And you can tell people F you in the middle of it. Like, it's phenomenal, right? You probably shouldn't kill people and break the law, but even in Southern California right now, you can do just about anything. It's crazy. It's kind of cool, but it's crazy, right? So why, and why one or the other? What do you actually want to do? Because it's not one or the other. There's something else, and you just figure it's one of those two.
No, I actually really love hospitality, but at the same time, like real estate as well. But I feel like if I focus on two, then I cannot focus on one to get its success. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Like I feel, yeah.
Tell
So,
me
like,
what
I
you
just
love
feel
about
like,
real estate. When you say I want to do real estate, what do you mean?
It's just I really like what so I have like this boss. I've been shadowing him like for like residential real estate, and I just love I love how to make deal and stuff, and like how he like just flip houses and stuff like that. So that's what I like. But I honestly, for me, like I like hospitality more. But at the same time, like if I like something, like let's say I have like a second choice, I feel like I want to have that too instead of just have one, something that I like, you know?
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. When you say hospitality, I have like 7 different things going in my head. What do you mean by that? What do you want to do in hospitality?
So I want to own restaurant and make it like I want to own restaurant and like just spread my brands throughout like like different countries and stuff. And I know it is a big dream and it scares me like every night I go to sleep. Like I just get scared like, oh, like what if I don't get this goal, like don't reach it goal. But like this, it's just like help me to push myself out there and like learn, yeah.
Sure.
So
what are you studying right now?
I'm studying hospitality.
Okay. So when you graduate, are you going to be able to open up a restaurant?
No. When I graduate, I'm still, yeah. So I'm planning on like, right now I'm shadowing my general manager, and I'm not going to open a restaurant until I'm confident with like managing like I not feel like to be an owner of something, you have to understand all the perspective of the position in the field that you want to be an owner. So like right now, I want to like learn all the position first and then open a restaurant. If that makes sense.
So I'm not going to be the only guy to tell you this. Don't do that. You'll never open a restaurant. Right? So now I like it. I like the mindset because what you're saying is I'm not that cocky. I'm not afraid to go trash out houses for $100 a day while I go build real estate. Right? You're saying I'm willing to do that. But if you're going to own something, right, you need to know how it operates. And then you need to know how, right? You don't need to know how to cook the menu. You don't need, otherwise you're getting the wrong degree. You got to go learn how to be a chef. You got to go switch over and start learning how to cook, right? You got to go learn how to take care of the maintenance on the building. You're not going to do that, right? You need to know as an operator, as an owner, Who's the best person for the job? Who's the best chef out there that cooks this food? How do I get them? What's my vision for this restaurant? Because that's what you're talking about. You're saying, I want people to walk into this restaurant and I want them to feel this way. And I want the food this way. And I want the conversation. I'm creating. I mean, look, when you're creating a restaurant, you're literally carving out a slice of the universe. And you're saying, come on and hang out with me. Come get inside of my head, right? But like, this is how we dine. This is how we do what we, this is it right here. Now, who's going to execute that for you? Who's going to be the ops chief? Now, when you start that, it's going to be all you, but you can't be all that and the cook. You can't be all that and the busboy, right? There's a myth about I'm going to try all these positions. Well, good, go get a job and bus tables. Then you're going to realize, no, I want to be the owner, right? And so the cool thing about it, residential real estate, is you said two things. You said, I'm shadowing a guy with the residential real estate, and I like putting a deal together, and he flips. Those are two very different things, right? Mm-hmm. So if he's doing flips, you're learning the sweet sauce. If he's showing you how to sell residential real estate, he's teaching you a skill set that can then create money for you, right? Same with flipping. Now, can you do both? Of course you can. That's why I have a property management company, a real estate company, an escrow company, right? Don't freaking tell me no. We just do it, right? So one house feels like 2.5. It's great. Okay. When you find out which one makes you come the most alive, right? When you're like, that's it for me, right? That's the one. Because if you're going to get really good at putting deals together, you're going to get really good at putting spreadsheets together. And you're going to get really good at valuing houses and neighborhoods and economic growth. And it's kind of dry, but you're slinging deals, right? Because you know what people want to buy, what they're looking for, what all of that, right? But if that doesn't make you come alive and you're just chasing dollars, you're going to hate it, right? You're just going to hate it. If what makes you come alive is hospitality and you've got this vision, right? Then don't become McDonald's. Do you know what I mean by that? Tell me.
Like, not too corporate, but like do something that that is like special and like make people come to your thing, and not too like corporate. Is that one? Okay. Like franchise? Is that what you meant?
Okay. No. Who else? Yeah, you guys go ahead, Lawrence. What do you got?
Yeah, so Taylor, you're saying, like, example, if you really like restaurant and you want to put your creativity in there, then create a restaurant, not like making like a system to take over the world. Is that what you meant?
No. Would you like the way I shook my head? Yes. So hey, there's a movie you guys got to watch, especially you, Ann. It's called Founders. It's on Netflix. It's the story of McDonald's. Okay. Started right here in San Bernardino. The original one is still there on East Street. It's in the hood. Don't take a field trip, right? If you want, I'll go get you guys some burgers and bring them back. Here's what I mean by don't be McDonald's. So the co-founders of McDonald's created the system, right? And so they're like, okay, this is the fastest way to make a burger. Yay. They were so focused on the burger. They were so focused on the system, right? That what they lost sight of was the business partner they brought in who had vision. He didn't know how to, he knew nothing about burgers, knew nothing about food. And this is where, but he knew people, right? And he could sell. And so he went out there and said, okay, this will be the best store manager. This is the best this is the best that. And what he started to see was these McDonald's were popping up everywhere. Here's the don't be them. The people were so focused on the systems and their food, the energy, the vibe around what you're creating, that they didn't realize this guy started buying all of the real estate that the McDonald's were on. And so the co-founders of McDonald's lost everything because this guy owned the land that they were on. So when they disagreed and the co-founder said, hey, get out, the guy goes, get out what? You're on my land. Don't be late on your rent payment. So he ended up taking the name from him, right? So when I say don't be McDonald's, don't be so trapped in the vision that you forget about your love for real estate. Does that make sense? And so you might say, hey, instead of going out, I might find failing restaurants, people that need help, right? Maybe I find an opportunity, an old mom and pop, and you come in and say, hey, you re-inspire their vision and you start figuring out how to own the land that the restaurants are on, right? Don't be that person. right? So there's so much that you can do with those two things. It's phenomenal because the real estate industry is massive, right? Now we're talking about commercial. You could become a great flipper. You could understand the positive cash flow of a buy and hold. You can do, there's so many things that you can do within the industry. But if what makes you go, if on your journey to joy, you find out it's hospitality, then the real estate thing will always be a great side hustle. Always. Right? I mean, you just can't, you can't go wrong. Anything you're learning now, you can't go wrong with. If he's flipping houses more than he's a single family residential guy, pull everything you can out of that guy's head. All of it. Try to get every spreadsheet he has, look at everything, ask as many questions as you can. Because let's say you partner with somebody and you get your first restaurant going and you're sitting on some money. The first thing you should do is try to buy a piece of real estate. How much do I need? Am I buying a condo as a rental? What does it look like? Can I flip something? Because now you understand it. So you're getting your heart and your joy filled here and it's producing dollars. You're now taking those dollars and you're making them work for you inside real estate. Did that answer your question?
Yes. Thank
Okay.
you.
You're welcome. And you're going to need that. You're going to need that overthinking a little bit, right? Because you're going to need overthinking becomes, how many of you guys play chess? Bare minimum 3 moves ahead, bare minimum, right? And so that overthinking now says, okay, here's all the options on step 1. Okay, here's all the options if X happens on step 1 plus step 2 plus step 3. Sound familiar, Ann? Right? You just start overthinking everything. That'll start happening. That'll come to your advantage when you're like, okay, I'm going to be so laser focused on hospitality. My first goal is to buy a condo. Great. How much money do I need? 30 grand. I love hospitality. Now I'm joyful. I'm impassioned and I'm saving all my money and I'm living like I'm broke. Why? Because your second goal is to buy your first piece of real estate. Okay. Who else got a question for me? Violet, Brandon, John, talk to me. What do we got? I told you I'm good. I'll sit in the silence. Hey, Lawrence, what do you want? Another 5 minutes, 10 minutes?
Well, what time is it? Yeah, maybe I'll say maybe like well, what do you guys think? I mean, we can answer some more questions. How about like two more people, and then we wrap it up. What do you got? What do you guys think? Anybody have any more questions?
Okay, so here's the questions that I have. Says, any possible events? Yeah, I'll work on some of that stuff for you. How can we build a connection? You're doing it. What's the market look like right now? That's a crazy, does the market matter? Yeah, of course. How does the situation fit the real estate market? Let me leave you with this. I think that's the best end question is, of course I just had it, said it was the best one, can't remember it. What are the advantages and disadvantages in a real estate career we need to know about? There is a massive amount with inside the industry, okay? So when you say a real estate career, what does that actually mean? Does that mean you want to become a licensed sales agent and you're going to go and you're going to start selling houses for people and you create a business and you get up and you look for buyers, look for sellers, and you just do that? Do you want to be within the real estate industry and be a lender, right? That's a whole nother ball of wax, right? Because listen, you might want to buy all the houses you can, but if you don't got no money, right? So then what kind of lender do you want to be? With inside the real estate industry, you could be like Ann and say, hey, I think my real joy is hospitality, but I don't want to give up this thing real estate because I understand that most millionaires are created through real estate. So how do I do that, right? So then you understand and you start studying real estate. But now when I say study real estate, you're like, what magazine do I read? What charts do I flow? Where do I track data? That's not it. When I say understand real estate, you're talking about how do I understand the transaction, right? When did the owner buy this? Why did they buy it? When are they going to sell it? What's their hopes and dreams for where they're going? How can I position the deal that creates a win for them, right? Hey, this is a really good deal for you, Mr. and Mrs. Seller. It's not exorbitant, it's not low, but here's why it's a win for me, right? When you start to understand the dynamic of putting a deal together, that's very different than, because if you're a sales company, then your job is to lead generate. I need 20 appointments a month, 240 appointments a year. I'll say 75 houses, average commission, average percentage, pop, 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 right? Then that's different than when you say, hey, I want to know how to buy 22 units. I want to know what it looks like when I say, hey, I want to go into the real estate career and I want to do nothing but flip houses. Or I want to figure out, how do I buy one, lever that with other money, and how do I start stacking the growth on top of that? So that question of, what should I stay away from? It really, the same question Ann had was, what do you actually want to do, right? What do you actually want to see have happen in your career? Who do you want to become? Because if you go down the road of creating a great sales business, it'll take you the furthest away you can possibly get from flipping and holding. They're just different. And they require different skill sets, different timing, different conversations. And so you have to be able to manage that. Yeah, I think that was the right answer. So yeah, let's end with that. And I think what we started with is probably even more important than the real estate stuff, which is it's here, right? You got to get the heart right, get in alignment with the head, start to work on who am I? Who do I see myself becoming, right? Character development, always character development. The businesses and the cash flow and all that stuff, that will always come. If you're not of good character, if you're not establishing the morning routine, what you feed your mind and your body, it matters.
That's right. Okay, so there's one thing that I really want to ask you real quick is there's one thing that we emphasized earlier. We talk about how our group mindset is, and I really want, every single time when I talk about, I emphasize the word kind, be kind, and I think it's extremely important. And what can you tell young professionals or students that being kind is also a part of your success?
Yeah, for sure. It goes back to the character conversation, right? Like, it doesn't matter how many mantras you say. It doesn't matter how much you study. There's so much stuff that just doesn't matter if you're not nice. If you're rude and disrespectful and arrogant and cocky and condescending, right? If Jim Rohn says you're the average of the 5 people you hang around with, and that's who you are, check your circle, right? And elevate. I mean, I'm in the middle. My wife and I talk about this. We're in the middle of, are we around the right people? Right? We're in our early 40s, mid 40s. Are we around the right people? To get to where we want to go between 40 and 50, 40 and 55, do we need to elevate our 5? Right? What a horrible thing. Like, I just want people to like me. I just want to have friends. Then you get them and you're like, yeah, but now I'm finding new ones. Right? It's okay. But you're not going to get new friends that help elevate you up to increase your average if you're not kind, right? I mean, we are equal, right? There is nobody better than anybody else. The difference between you and me is I was born first, right? That's it. You can stand around and pull up in a flashy car and put on the suit. And I'm the realtor and I'm the broker and I'm the man. And I can look down on people, right? Because look at this. How much repeat business do you think you're actually going to get with that? 0, right? It's critical. Yeah. Above all else, always be kind, right? We work in an industry. I'm going to throw some crazy numbers at you really quick. Just from Glendora, so nothing east, Glendora to Rancho Cucamonga, there's over 8,000 licensed realtors. It's almost 9,000. It's a ton, right? 9,000 realtors. Seems like a lot. It's a very small industry, right? Because if you think about the Pareto principle, the 80-20 rule, only 20% of the agents are doing the most of the deals anyways. Now you go from 9,000 to 180. Be rude, be disrespectful, don't be kind. And then in a market like today, when you're like, hey, man, we did those last 2 deals together. Love to see my buyer get into this property. They're like, oh yeah, I remember you. Nope. Being kind matters, right? It is. It's character development. I'm not on scratching Lawrence's back right now, but there is, I mean, there was all kinds of these mantras you could go to, but just be kind, right? Are you talking to someone the way that you should be talking to yourself? Are you talking to somebody the way that you would want them to talk to your mom, right? How are you checking yourself? And it will get better when you adjust the mindset.
That's right. All right. Well, there's if anybody who needs to go, you guys can go ahead. And Mr. Ottosen, is it okay if you can stay for a little bit?
For sure. Before you guys take off, stay into this, right? What Lawrence is trying to pull off, what you guys are sitting here doing, this is it, right? This is the increase of your average 5. This is you saying, hey, in theory, I'm going to show up, and for an hour, I'm going to leave here better than when I showed up. Even if it wasn't, I learned something new. Even if you just said, thanks for the reminder, I got to do something better, right? Hey, you're right. It's the 5th time this week I've heard this. It's time for me to execute, right? Always thanks for the reminder. But what you guys are doing here, it'll pay off, because even if it doesn't mean you get a job or a contact or something out of here, when you look back, you're going to remember this. And when you get to where you're going, you're going to say, who's the people that are talking? Who's my crowd, right? Like this is fantastic. Stay in it, lean it, grow it. If we start the call with, what, I don't know, 12, 13, and you finish with 7, right? And even dipped off and got back on in her car, right? She believes that there's value. So stay in it, right? Keep pushing for it. Go make it better. Go say, hey, you know what? Let's execute X, Y, and Z next time. Right. Hey, we know that these 15 are never going to jump in, or they'll always watch, or they'll always be doing this, but let's get tighter and better here. And let's elevate up what we're about and what we're doing here. So yeah, I just wanted to say good job to what you guys are doing. It's fantastic. Hopefully I didn't burn an hour and 16 of your minutes, because you're never going to get them back. So hopefully you at least got one thanks for the reminder, or you learned something new.
Yes, sir. Well, first of all, thank you so much for, your time and, you being here. And I know you're a very busy person, but, being here and talking to us, you're in Texas, if I'm not correct.
I'm back. I flew.
You're already back?
Yeah. It was a quick trip.
Yeah, that was funny, because me and John were supposed to see you on Wednesday, but it was like an emergency tap. And I saw the responding, you're in Texas, and then you're looking at the 22 units. So that was a very interesting encounter. So if anybody want to continue chatting with Mr. Ryan Ottosen, asking more questions, please stay for a little bit. And if you guys really need to go, we hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your night.
Enjoy the weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Of course. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, thanks for the talk. It was really cool. Appreciate it.
Good. I'm glad it was helpful. No worries. I was just
Thank
making sure I
you.
wasn't overflowing my pool. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, thanks for sharing your experiences. It was all extremely interesting, and you said a lot of relatable things. So thank you for that.
Yeah, of course. If not, what's the point, right? You guys get talked to all day. Let's just have a conversation about life.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for being here.
I think Brand.
Sorry, I was muted. But yeah, I just want to say thank you, and you seem like a really cool person. And I was wondering if I could probably get your email, so maybe we
Sure.
could connect down the road.
Yeah. So link up with Lawrence. He's got all my information.
All right, cool. Sounds good. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, of course, Brandon. I appreciate you. Thanks for being here.
Bye-bye.
Yep, great stuff, Brandon. All right, sir. Thank you so much, and that was amazing. It's you hit right at the spot that we spoke. It's like an hour, 15 minutes. So that was really good. There are some things that I gotta have. Just create a routine. Following up is extremely important. I network. I network a lot. I think it's extremely important. I do that I think I doubled down on that for the last 8 months, and my network really expand. It was very funny because I met you at I think it's 7:30 a.m. on the day. And it was very interesting because I went I went to a networking event. It was by Churchill Mortgage.
Yeah,
It was at the veteran thing. You weren't there. I'm not sure you were you there. I think it was like last week, I think.
I was in Texas last weekend too.
Oh, yeah. Well, you must fly a lot. Do you?
I really don't. These units are they're pretty solid, right? I wanted to make sure I got eyes on them. My daughter's moving out there, so usually I don't travel like this. Yeah. No, usually I'm around and doing the thing, but now, yeah. So I missed that one too.
What was the asking price for the 22 units?
So that's a loaded question. She doesn't know because they're not on the market. It's not professionally packaged. She's probably in over her head trying to sell them. She doesn't have a lot of answers to some basic questions. So what I did was put in the work to figure out what the max lendability would be for a comfort zone to say, hey, look, if somebody wants to pay X amount, this is the best loan case positioning for them, right? The best levered position. And so I just backed into it. So the max I think anybody could be happy with those with is like 2.25. Sweet spot's right around 2.1. Yeah.
2.1, 2.1 million.
Yeah. But I think we're gonna
equity or plus loans.
So it would be you'd get loans, right? So you drop your down payment on there unless you got. And now if you could, there's not a big enough profit margin to find somebody to say, hey, now I think if you could get somebody to give you like a 3 or 4% loan on the 500, like your down payment. So you got your down payment finance plus the note finance, that might eat up all the cash flow, but then you would own them, right? So then you just, you push the long-term equity play, look for a refinance out and go. So yeah, no, it's an individual, it's a uniquely individual piece of property. Like I haven't seen something like it before and in a long time. I shouldn't say before, in a long time.
Yeah. Well, that's great. Me, I do. I mean, I do. I'm a commercial real estate intern actually. So I do a lot of commercial real estate. Do a lot of retail and multifamily. So I thought it was really interesting to learn residential. And also Anne is actually my sister.
Oh, okay.
So yeah,
The last name didn't give it away at all.
Yeah, no, my sisters. I'm so proud of her. For being there and asking great questions. So yeah, she's been feeling a little lost, lately. So I think you helped her a lot, and that was really cool.
Good. Well, then I'm glad she asked questions.
Yeah.
That's
well, yes, sir. I mean, I wish we can do like in person, but it's kind of sucks that everybody wants it to be on Zoom, and I cannot rent like I don't know where we can get like an office or something like that to host our event. So it's kind of tough. Yeah, because we cannot do on campus. I don't know where we can do on campus. So that was the questions that I was questioning myself for weeks.
Yeah. What isn't there right across the street from campus, isn't there like an outdoor brewery or something?
Yeah, but isn't that like a bar, or like they don't have like an actual like office room?
Yeah. No, that's true.
Yeah.
I was thinking if they had like an indoor banquet room or something. That was right across the street from the school for everyone.
Yeah. So what was the office that I was in with you guys? Like, was it rent out at the?
Oh yeah. So you could rent that for sure. Yeah. So it's I mean, come on, commercial guy. It's a warehouse space that was turned into, people can't subdivide, but they need smaller offices, right? So they just threw up and said, okay, here we'll convert it to this. But yeah, that room, you can rent that conference room for sure.
Oh yeah. Yeah, of course.
Follow up with Chase. He'll put it together.
Yeah. No, 100%. I haven't talked to Chase, for weeks because he.
Oh, okay.
He's been pretty busy, I assume, because I text him and stuff like that. But and yeah, so well, that was great, and you got all the points and stuff like that. It was really cool. So and also I was because we spoke about like maybe like make like an event or something like that people can shadow or something like that.
Yeah, so we had talked about doing with your real estate group, right? Or did you want to do it with this one?
Well, real estate group, yeah, but the real estate group currently, the guest speakers and all the events are already packed. So that's why that's why we can really get like an event over there. But I can gather, students and stuff like that, because there are many students that, interested in real estate, and, to learn and to at least, like take chances or something, like not take chances, my bad, like apply, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. So the event I'd had in my head was really real estate based, right? Thinking that you could merge the two groups together in order to do something. So are they on that other group? Are they just locked down completely? They're like, no, thank you.
It's not a lockdown. I have a good, I have a good connection with that, and I'm also a really good friend with the former president of REA. Because right now I'm not trying to say anything, but the current president, she's like, she's, I don't know, she's very busy. She doesn't put in much work, and she also, thinks that, every single thing that she does is right. She doesn't take opinion, so she's a very hard-headed person. So that's why, when I say things, and like she's like, oh yeah, we already packed and stuff like that, and we wait into next semester, and she want to do it her way. So I can really do anything much.